Judo, one of the core concepts is we stress lead hand education, more so than most systems, I would think, including boxers, especially today. Not only do we stress the lead hand education, we also stress putting the strong weapon in front. So if you're right-handed, your right hand would be in front, your right lead. I call it an unorthodox southpaw, which means that just because I'm right-handed, you see, in boxing or in sport competition, they put their weak side in front. Because the thought process is simple. You want to score points with your weak hand, and hopefully, in the later rounds, land a power shot. Well, Sifu Bruce Lee understood, even at a very young age that he was at, he understood through his research that street fights aren't competition. They're not timed, they're not rounds, they don't have refs. So the goal is to get the guy done with as soon as you can. So we put our strong side up front because it hits harder, does more damage, it's faster, it takes more abuse. And then we put our weak side in the back to give it more power. Okay? Lead hand education. Am I going to stay on this? Probably a lot. When I do leave off of this, because I know I'm going to be boring you guys, I'm just coming back to it later. Because if I want to stress anything about this video series, it's going to be the lead hand, lead leg education. It's going to be hitting first if you can. It's going to be intercepting if you can't. And it's going to be involving footwork throughout the whole deal and understanding his attention. If he pushes, what you do. If he pulls, what do you do? Okay. This is when you hear people say that Bruce Lee was ahead of his time. This is what they mean. Okay, throughout this series, I'm going to maybe piss some people off. You guys know me. I'm not going to hold back. I've worked my entire Jeet Kune career staying out of the politics of Jeet Kune. And because of that, people know me now as the renegade or the middleman. I get messages from top name Jeet Kune guys all the time talking about other top name Jeet Kune guys because they know that I'll listen, they know that I'll give advice, but they also know that I'm dealing with it. I'm very far away from the gossip or the politics part of this. I want to be able to perform the art, and more importantly, I want to be able to teach and share the art. That's how Jeet Kune remains valid today. So we put our strong side up front. You'll hear some people say, no, that was June Fawn. Let me tell you something. There's no evidence that Bruce Lee never left the strong side forward concept. There's no evidence of that. Show me. I ask people all the time, present it. Present it with his writings, present it with the video we have of him. He fought right side forward, guys. He trained right side forward. If he was ever left side forward, it was because of a transitionary motion. He never stayed there, okay? This is a concept that I believe is valid today, just like it was then. And I believe that, and I'm going to show you throughout this series why I believe if you put your stroke side up forward, which is right lead for most people, that you have a clear advantage over a person who fights left side forward. All right, let's get this started. We're going to start with some foundation building exercises. I'm going to bring you lots and lots and lots of mid drills in this video series. But right now, in this first part, it's still kind of the tool development or foundation building phase. Okay, so we're going to show you what I kind of start my students on the focus mitts doing at the beginning. All right, let's get to it. So I think, as I always say, creativity is what drives the modern day martial artist. So another drill that we like to do, he's going to put left lead this time, and he's just going to keep this mitt right here. Now, I always say when the strikes go out, if they go out at 80, they come back at 100. The retraction of these hits, guys, is very important. Through the years, a lot of this has been watered down. They just make up stupid, ridiculous claims like there was no chamber in the kicking. There's no retraction. Let's call it a fire step. It's very humorous to me. I'm being kind of facetious right now, but they do this stuff because they can't perform it properly. So they ignore the training of it, and then they make excuses as to why they don't do it. Okay, so watch. He puts his left leg in front. He holds this. Now look, you can make him stand in a fighting stance. That's fine. Or at the beginning, you can make him stand parallel. Okay, so just like this. Now look, this one is held a little higher. Now my job is to land the straight, and his job is to hit my arm with the other one. Now he's going to try to slap my forearm. So what he wants to do is he wants to hit it before I pull it back. My job is to get it back before he hits it. We'll see how this works. Okay, if he gets in a stance now, same concept. All right, give it a go. Okay, the next part of this, we're going to bring you, kind of starting to get into some tactics and some strategies. This is still the first part of the video, so it's still very fundamental. It's still very fundamental. It's still very just like I always say, the tool development area. Okay, but we're going to talk about the reposte. So reposte is a fencing term that C.J. Lee used often. As you all know, and I've said it a lot, that fencing was a big part of the evolution of Jeet Kune for sure. And a lot of the concepts come straight out of the fencer's handbook, really. Okay, one of them is the reposte. So reposte can be best described, I think, as a defensive posture that's always followed by a hit or a score. So the first way we bring the student into this is we just limit their shots, and we predetermine our own return. Okay, so he's just going to throw a jab, and as soon as I catch the jab, now watch, I can catch it, or I can parry it slightly. At my beginners, I make them catch it. Beginners tend to do this a lot when they parry. Okay, so I want you to understand it's just wrist when you parry. So it's good just to catch it and kind of get behind that jab at the beginning portion. Really, truthfully, I use the catch more than I do the parry in my own sparring or in training. Okay, so yeah, as soon as I parry the shot or catch the shot, on his retraction, I follow it in and explode my own shot. I do the push shuffle, and I do the straight lead or the jab. We'll do a few of these for you. So your jaw is down, and you're looking through your eyebrows. You're staying on the balls of your feet. All right, that's the reposte with the straight lead. Okay, next part. We're going to do the same prefix. We're going to stick to the reposte lesson. Except afterwards, we're going to add ABC, which is attack by combination. I'm going to go into more detail on the ways of attack as the video series goes on. But the ABC, attack by combination. We're going to keep it simple right now and catch it. Chunda, Ping Choi, Now Choi, Ping Choi, Jip Tech for the front kick first. Okay, obviously we'll add the hook kick or the Now Tech soon. Okay, so again, in layman's terms, I'm going to catch return, cross it, hook, cross, kick the groin. Now let's do a few of these. Fun. All right, still tool development area. The juke tech or the side kick. My Lord. There's more controversy within the Jeet Kune communities about the proper way to do this kick than probably anything else. And lots of made up stuff too over the years since the founder is long gone and passed away. One of the made up things that you hear a lot is that the side kick has no chamber at all. Almost like it just lifts out straight, the guy flies away, and it just flops it straight back down. That's what they want you to believe. This is why, guys. This is why I say that kicking is the lost component of Jeet Kune. I've already told you I'm going to piss some people off, so buckle up. The reason why kicking is the lost component in Jeet Kune is because it's the hardest one to work. And Jeet Kune instructors are lazy. Not all of them. Some of them are very lazy. They want the allure of teaching or practicing Bruce Lee's art. They want to be able to do some of the cool stuff that it gets YouTube clicks. But they don't want to do the most important part in Bruce Lee's life up until his death, which is train. So the reality is there's a right way to do something, there's a wrong way to do something, and there's lots of gray area in between. I'm going to teach you the right way. I'm going to teach you proper kicking mechanics to maximize your training effort, guys. And by doing this, you're going to be able to train longer. You're going to learn to roll your hips over. You're going to learn the proper pivot so that your joints and hips, they last you for years. Because the bad thing about kicking is if you do it wrong, it will make a huge effect on your body over time. This is why you look at old school Japanese karateka, old school Japanese karate guys, their hips bad, they have knee surgeries. Because for years they weren't twisting their hips, they were just flipping the kick out there. Okay, so let's go through the juke tech with you, and we'll see where it goes. Okay, the whole fallacy that Bruce Lee didn't chamber his kicks, oh my Lord, I don't know who started that, just did it, but it's very wrong. In fact, there is numerous of writings about him not only chambering his kicks, but stressing it. There's also a great video online of him teaching a private class with James Coburn. And he is stressing not only the extension or the initial chamber, but the retraction. He even says to exaggerate the retraction. This is the proper way to kick. You see, if the leg is locked out, it becomes a push. This goes back to the rebound effect. This can be greatly proven or demonstrated with Bruce Lee's 1-inch punch. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, Bruce Lee for his demonstrations, he would do the 1-inch punch. Everybody knows it's famous. Okay, everybody has heard of Bruce Lee's 1-inch punch. For demonstrations, this is what he would do. And I'm not going to blast it right now. I just want you to kind of see this. I'm going to do about a 3-inch punch just for the sake of proving my point. As soon as Lee would twist, he would use the body mechanics properly. But if you notice, the hand would straighten and he would stay on the target. Okay, the initial shot is impact, but then it becomes a push. A massive push. Anything that stays out there becomes a push. Forced rebound effect. I've been talking about that for a little while now. This is what this means. It means that whenever we hit something, we borrow force from the earth. No, not like a Jedi. We borrow force from the earth through our limbs, through our hips. We push off of the earth and we blast the target. Now, that force has to go somewhere. Our goal is to maximize it and put it on the target. Now, some of the forces will always come back on you. Bottom line. If you don't believe me, go out there and hit a brick wall or an oak tree. See what happens. You can have great intentions, but once you hit that thing, you're going to go backwards. Because that force rebounds off of it and comes back onto you. So the goal is to retract the weapon. So this one doesn't look as impressive. Okay? But he can feel it in his spine. That's the proper way to do a 1-inch punch. It's nothing to do with the guy flying away. Sifu Brown always says, if he flies away, you got to chase him. You don't want him to fly away. So whenever I see people on YouTube sidekicking people across the room, in the comments, he's so powerful, I'm laughing. I know that's not power. I know that's not real force. That's push. I can push you across the room too with the sidekick. I don't want to push you. I want you to fold around my foot. Let's work it. Okay, the juke tech. I'm going to do a few of these, and then we're going to break down the mechanics. And listen, as far as the whole chambering controversy goes, I want you to practice the correct full range of motion chamber first. Only then will you learn how to cheat it later. See, it's not that he didn't use chambers. It's that he understood the kick, he understood the chamber, he functionalized it, only then was he able to modify, to adjust, and to cheat it a little bit. That's the reality. Train it 100% correct first, then learn to cheat it. In part 2, we're really going to break down the feint aspect, the faking aspect, the drawing, the deceptive maneuvers and footwork. But right now, just all I want you to do is just simulate a finger jab. As you do, when act like you're pulling a rope, that pendulum step goes in, so it goes one, and then I kick, and I put the foot back down into the pocket. I'm always landing back in the pocket, always. Okay, now I'm not trying to kill him, I'm just trying to break down some of the mechanics for you with this. So when I do it, the pendulum step is on. Look at the hip, look at the pivot. It's not this. My biggest pet peeve in the Jeet Kune world is when they do Jeet techs or stop kicks, and we got a whole lot of those for you later. But they do it like this. And I'm talking about named components of Jeet Kune. They're standing on nothing but ligaments and tendons. Their quad is sideways. It's not buffering the fighting machine. It's not absorbing the impact and the rebound force. And there's absolutely no. Look where my hips are. My hips are way back here. You don't want your hips back there. You want your hip here. That's the side kick. Think about the mechanics. Don't cheat yourself and believe every little YouTube comment or every little or every instructor that's not a very good kicker tell you there's no chambering. Don't cheat yourself. Do it right first. There are arts that dedicate themselves to kicking. Bruce Lee had a huge Taekwondo influence. People gloss over that. One of his closest friends was Jun Rhee, and really Jun Rhee was very important in putting Bruce Lee's name out there. So a lot of his kicking influence, especially 68 or 67 and beyond, came from a Taekwondo-ish kind of kicking style. I think that the Koreans understand kicking, especially the Lee leg system kicking that we're doing right now. When we get into the turning kicks, the Thai boxers have it. Okay, I get it. And you'll see that later. But as far as the lead leg kicking, I think the Taekwondo guys and the Savate guys understand it more than anyone else. So don't cheat yourself. And don't also limit yourself to one train of thought. This guy's teaching Jeet Kune telling me that you don't chamber with kicks, you don't need to pivot, you don't need to twist your hips. He must be right because he's a Jeet Kune instructor. Really? Come on, man. Come on. I have a mechanic who's a great world-class mechanic. He won't even touch my Lexus. He only works on Volvos. He won't even touch my Lexus. But he's a world-class mechanic. You get my point. I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but that's what I try to bring out. Question everything, investigate, train, and then make your opinions from your own experiences, not from hearsay or he-say. All right. All right, so here's where you go. One, you just put the kick in. Try to land in the Baijong. That one was a little off. We'll do it again. All right, one more time. All right, side kick. Still the tool development area, guys. This is where we haven't put anything together in strategy, or we haven't put anything together to really show you how to pull this stuff off. Right now, there's a couple core things that I need you to understand before we get into all that other stuff. Okay, the straight punch is backbone that you can know, but the mechanics of the straight punch are almost identical to the mechanics of the BLG. Okay, so if we hit the eye, I have never once hit a man in the eye, and I've hit a few eyeballs in my day. I never once hit a man in the eye with a solid shot that he was able to continue to fight. Never one time. A lot of the things you'll see online is that the eye is just too small to hit. Okay, so you're telling me that we have people like, I don't know, we have fighter pilots who are 1,000 buttons. They're maneuvering this jet, this weaponized jet in the air. They're hitting 1,000 buttons at Mach speeds, having to keep themselves from passing out, all while not getting hit out of the air, or at least shooting someone else out of the air. They're doing all this at the same time. You're telling me you can't touch a damn eyeball? Come on. Don't belittle the human experience. Don't discount us. We're still here. Dinosaurs have been long gone, guys. We're still here. You can do anything if you train it. Anything. And while a lot of people are saying stuff can't be done, there's people doing it every day. Anything could work if you can pull it off. So the mechanics work the same. I can hit. At the moment of impact, I torque and I hit the eye. It wouldn't stop there. We never kill an anatomical response for every opponent. I've hit people with elbows and dropped it first time. I've hit people with elbows and they shook it off like it was nothing. We keep going. We put it together in combination. We put it together with strategy and thought. And we keep going until the threat is neutralized. But you got to understand the concepts. You got to understand the body mechanics behind such a thing. So when I'm here, I just want you to move the hand first. We're not even shuffling forward right now. You're just moving the limb first. And at the moment of impact, I torque it, and I just hit the eye, and I come right back to the stance. You can torque it in a circle, or you can pull it straight back. I don't care. I want you to do them both. Remember the principle of the short arc, or the principle of a straight line attack. The beautiful thing about a finger jab, though, is that you don't need the power as when you do a straight lead or any kind of fist attack. You need timing, you need focused energy and speed, and of course accuracy. That's it. You don't need power. So my finger jab may very well be here, and then I'm back in for whatever we're going to do after that, which we're going to get into. This is a long video ahead of you. Right now, I just want you throwing it. So